You see a photo and you stop scrolling. You blink twice, and you wonder how one moment from the past can still surprise people after so many years. And that is the kind of reaction Pam Grier has always created, because one bold image or one brave scene was enough to make everyone start talking. And this story is not about shock just for attention, but about understanding why a topless moment from Pam Grier became so famous, why people still speak about it, and what it truly meant for movies and culture. So stay until the end, because the full story is deeper and more surprising than it first appears. Pam Grier did not simply show up on movie screens and fade away. She arrived with power and made sure no one forgot her. And in the early part of her career, movies looked very different from what we see now, with very limited roles for women and even fewer chances for black women. Yet Pam stepped into that world knowing it would not always welcome her and still stood strong and confident. When people hear the phrase Pam Grier topless, many instantly think of shock or surprise. But that moment was not random or careless. It was part of a larger picture, because at that time filmmakers often used bold scenes to grab attention. And Pam understood this clearly while also knowing how to stay in control of her image, never appearing weak or unsure, but instead looking strong, fearless, and fully aware of the power she carried. Many of these scenes came from action movies where Pam played tough characters, and she was never just there to be looked at, because she fought back, spoke clearly, and often became the hero of the story. And even though the topless moments were brief, the impact lasted for years, as people remembered her confidence, her presence, and her strength far more than the scene itself. What truly made Pam Grier different was her attitude, because she never acted embarrassed or uncomfortable. She owned every moment, and for younger viewers this showed a woman who was not afraid of her body or her choices, while for older viewers it challenged long-held ideas about how women were expected to behave on screen. These moments also sparked conversations everywhere, with some people praising her bravery and others criticizing the movies. But no one ignored her, and being seen and remembered is powerful, because it can change careers and even history, and Pam Grier became a symbol of strength during a time when that was rare for women like her. Outside of movies, her images appeared in magazines and posters, shared among fans and displayed proudly, not because it was rude, but because it felt bold, fresh, and different, and she came to represent freedom and confidence in a way many people had never experienced before. Pam later spoke honestly about these roles and explained that she made careful choices about what she accepted, knowing the difference between being used and using the moment to move forward, and that smart thinking helped her survive and grow in an industry that often forgets people quickly. As time passed, her work earned more respect. Film lovers began to study her roles closely, and they noticed her acting skills, her strong timing, and her powerful screen presence, realizing that the topless scenes were only a small part of a much larger and meaningful career. Younger actors now look up to Pam Grier as an influence because she broke rules while staying true to herself, teaching that being bold does not mean losing control but can mean taking control. And when you hear that headline again, it is worth pausing and looking beyond the shock to see the woman who changed how people viewed action heroes, beauty, and confidence, because Pam Grier was not just creating attention, she was creating history. And if you stayed until the end, you now understand that. The famous moment was never just about skin. It was about strength, choice, and standing firm in a challenging world, which is why Pam Grier remains talked about, respected, and unforgettable even now.